guys, welcome back to the Bro 4 Squad podcast. This is episode 7. I'm your host, Jeff Hornacek. We have a full roster of bros here tonight. Let's go around the horn and get it started. First off, our resident heel, Matt Geiger. Matt, it's been a while since you and I have got to do one of these. What's going on, man?
My contract dispute is now undisputed. We all decided that'd be best if I just went back and made no money doing this like everyone else. So I'm back. I might set a couple questions out because I'm still very unhappy with it, but I'm here. So
I'm glad we could not only come to terms, but that you could pull a Randy Moss with the Raiders and just pick and choose when you want to give effort.
Yeah, if it's a running play, don't even expect me to block.
Of course, with us, usually as always, is the mad scientist, Brian Banner. Brian, how's it going tonight?
Well, it's going to be a good pod because my shirt's not on.
I mean, it's just going to be a normal pod. Either the good or the bad ones, you typically don't have clothing, or half of your clothing on.
That's true.
And rounding out our roster tonight is Alex English, who just came back from a very delicious dinner. Alex, welcome. I hope you're full.
Yeah, really full. Excited to do Westworld episode 11 pod with the guys. Should be fun.
What if we just started talking about an episode? How long for people like, wait, what the fuck? Was there another one that I missed? People would freak
this
out.
isn't?
They're like shuffling their papers. Like, why wasn't social media? Why didn't they aware me of this? I'm not sure what the fuck's going on.
Reddit just got worn out. They were like, we're done guessing. We're just whatever.
Happy to be on. Let's do it.
Awesome. Well, if you guys have not listened to us before, welcome. Glad to have you. We're just four bros that are going to go through a lot of the movie news, a lot of the superhero movie news, and a lot of our theories on what's going on lately. We break the show down into 3 segments. The first one is always what is most important in a bro's life, and that is chess day. So our chess day topic today, what else could it be since it is the week of December 16th? But Rogue One, a Star Wars story, comes out we are recording this on a Wednesday night, so in 2 days, or 1 day if you're one of those freaks who gets to go see it on Thursday. Although nowadays, like, these movies are premiering like months ahead, so it doesn't even matter. But
Nice.
Yeah, I've seen it
tonight.
Yeah, there's people listening that have already seen it, and fuck you.
yeah, exactly.
But
So
text me, let me know if it's good.
yeah, give us all the spoilers, please. So before we dive into it, we actually want to give a kind of an interesting perspective here. So there are a lot of
No. We need to preface this. Wait, are we doing like the review of what this movie's going to be about? Because if we're going to say that, the people that Geiger's hanging out with are fucking morons if they don't know what this movie's about.
Well, I was going to say, the casual fan, the one who has seen a woman naked before in their life, does not really know if this is a sequel to The Force Awakens. And to be totally honest, I know they've done a little bit of it, but in the trailers, they haven't. I don't know if there's a way they can like explicitly say it without beating us over the head, but Alex English, who is a huge movie fan, but a sort of peripheral Star Wars fan, he's obviously seen them all, but isn't like a huge fanboy. I wanted to get, Alex, your take on what do you know about this movie? What do you think the casual fan is curious about? And then what are you excited to see, or what are you concerned about going into it this weekend?
Okay, so it took me like 5 seconds to figure out what's going on, and please correct me if I'm wrong. This movie is not at all connected to the timeline of the movie that just came out last year with Kylo Ren. This movie is about the mission that the rebels went on to basically retrieve the plans for the Death Star, and that in the old movies, when they mentioned how they got the plans for the Death Star to be able to do the whole Luke Skywalker fly through and blow it up, they were just like, oh yeah, we just stole those, and we never find out how. And so in this movie, we find out how. Is that correct?
Exactly correct. 1,000,000%.
Okay, I'm not even a Star Wars fanboy, and it took me like a 5-second Google search to be like, oh, that makes sense. That sounds rad. I'm actually probably more excited for that type of a concept because it seems like it can be very like narrow and focused, whereas most Star Wars movies are all over the place.
Absolutely.
There will be people, though, especially the trailers, I think, as a great job, gave us very little. Star Wars trailers, they did that last year with The Force Awakens. There's going to be a lot of people that are disappointed going to the movie because they're not going to know what the fuck's going on.
How long into the theater-going experience do you think until you hear a woman in your theater say, "Where's Rey?"
Where's Rey?
Yeah.
Where's the black?
It'll actually be, they're probably going to be like, where's Harrison Ford? He's handsome.
Probably. Where's 1987 Harrison Ford though?
And
That's
there'll
the
be
one I
one
want.
douchebag, like, and we all have that friend that doesn't give a shit about Star Wars that will say just a terrible thing. Where is Jar Jar Binks? Just be a d-bag, guarantee you.
And they just say Misa don't know is what you respond to that with. So now let's get into. We've gone over a couple different pods, what we want to see, what we think is going to be in this. I have two main questions for you guys that I want to go through. Number one, how much Vader do you think will be in this movie? I know we've asked this before, but they've kind of ramped him up in the marketing campaign. And then number two, do you think that because we've apparently had conversations or overheard conversations with people that don't know when or where this movie's taking place, dissimilar to what Alex just said, but will that affect the box office receipts for this? Because if people don't know what it is, or if they find out it's not what they think it is, maybe the casual fan is either off-put by that, or they just say, oh, I'll catch it later. So, Geiger, what do you think to those two? Vader, and then are people going to be confused by this when it comes out?
Vader first. I don't really care how much he's in. I said I wanted one thing, but actually I watched the original Star Wars last night, and I want two things. One thing is I want a Vader fight scene, since we could never really get that in the 70s. You know, we kind of did with when he killed Obi-Wan, and then two fights with Luke, but it was the 70s. Directing wasn't as good as today with, like, you know, the fucking Civil War airport scene or the BVS Save Martha scene. They could do a really cool Vader scene where he kills a lot of people. The other thing I want, after watching the original Star Wars last night, I want Vader as a pilot. Like they did.
Yeah, that'd
the
be
only
cool.
time they've ever done that is Vader as Vader. They've done it with Anakin a couple times, but as Vader, they just did it in the original Star Wars at the end when he's trying to shoot Luke. I wanted to see Vader as a pilot because this is the prime of Vader. Now, the other thing, I don't think people will mind whenever they see this because they'll probably see it with somebody like us or someone that kind of knows what's going on. And if, you know, you can nudge your neighbor next to you who's like, hey, what the fuck's going on here? It's like, no, this takes place before the original Star Wars. And if you ask anybody, everyone likes the original Star Wars better than the prequels. There's some people that like the prequels, and there's some people that hate them, but everyone agrees that the original ones are better, and this takes place right before the original one. It's a very cool story. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is going to be the best Star Wars movie ever, just because it has the directing, stuff that you couldn't do in the 70s you can do now. We have the number one Star Wars character ever that will never, ever be done again because actors
Jar Jar
age.
Binks,
There's
yep.
no way Harrison Ford could play Indiana Jones again, even though he's going to. But you know what I mean?
Oh, God.
But it's just going to be a voice actor because we still got James Earl Jones and we're going to have a young Vader. And just, you're not going to have to do too much character development just simply because all these people are going to fucking die anyway.
Banner, that's a lot to follow, especially the proclamation that this could be the best Star Wars movie ever. But what are your thoughts?
I'm going to piggyback off of that and say that it's not going to be the best Star Wars movie ever, mainly because...
Shocker, Banner doesn't agree with me. Keep going on.
Well, it'd have to be like a top 10 movie of all time to be.
Yeah, it would. First off, it would have to be in movie history to be that good. I don't know that it can. I'm not gonna say it's not gonna be a good movie. I think it may fall victim to part of the reason that the prequels are so bad. Which I know George Lucas was the reason the prequels are so bad, but I think it may fall victim to the fact we know the end game. They're gonna get the plans, and spoiler alert, English. They're gonna get the plans, and everybody's gonna die. My bad.
Can I say one thing real quick? I think this looks like it's very well directed. Gareth Edwards, the director, described it as he was going for like a World War II type feel, but in the Star Wars universe. But let's not forget, and I actually really liked the movie, but his last movie was Godzilla, the reboot of it. So that was a great movie, but also at the same time, it's not like he doesn't have a track record yet of doing like very like visceral or like grounded type films. I think this looks great, and I think he's an awesome director. But there are people out there that are like either already proclaiming him as like the next Francis Ford Coppola or saying this is like a genius project, and I just need to see it first. I hope it is, but I need to see it. Alex, you need to get in here.
If anything, I'm just going to say Godzilla was a fantastic theater experience. So even if, as a movie from start to finish, it was okay, in the theater with the IMAX, with the 3D glasses, all the bells and whistles, it was fantastic. So if this movie can match that visual style in the Star Wars universe, I'm in just there. Like, I'm just going to go pay the money just for that because you can't experience that in the living room.
With Godzilla, a lot of people didn't like the pacing. That was like my favorite part, how we didn't see Godzilla till almost like an hour in. So
Can I just say this one thing?
yes.
Let them fight.
Let them fight.
That's all.
To bring us back around, to answer your second question, again, I'm going to disagree, but kind of still agree with Geiger. I think that this movie is going to break $500 million on opening weekend.
500 million on opening weekend?
No, I don't think that's possible. Worldwide, you're saying?
Worldwide, yes, worldwide.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Opening weekend.
Well, it's already opened in Europe.
It already broke the record for most pre-sale, so
Yeah,
That
I
gets
think
broken like every other movie, though. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I think that record was broke like what 4 times this year.
yeah, it was always broken by Star Wars. Every time someone breaks it, then The Force Awakens breaks it easily, and then someone else breaks it, then Rogue One breaks it easily, and then Episode 8, 9, and 10, and when we have kids, 15 is going to break
I
it
kind of
easily.
quit looking
Star
at
Wars
box
is king.
office records when we found out on our last pod that Doctor Strange and Suicide Squad made more money than either in pre-sale than either BVS or Civil War.
Do you think that was though because
They had great
BTS
marketing.
and
So
Civil
did
War did
them,
so
but-
good, so people wanted to see the next level of that, the next addition to those 2 movies?
I don't know. It's weird because as we were talking, these movies come out now. Does anyone know, Alex? Maybe you know. Now that they release these movies on like Wednesdays and Thursdays, are those technically pre-sale and not part of the opening weekend?
I think they count everything, right?
Yeah.
They have to. Yeah, they have to. Like, the movie's out in a fucking AMC at the mall. It counts towards the opening weekend.
Yeah. If you
Which
can,
is how they can continually tell the studios, oh, look how good we're doing. And they can use their marketing to be like, oh, look how much money this made. Go see it.
It's a little deceiving now because the opening weekend haul is like 4 days, and in a few years it's going to be like starting on Monday. That counts as the weekend. Tell my boss
It's like
that's
if
the weekend.
It's like if Apple releases like a new iPhone, but releases like 17 versions of it, and it's like, no, we sold more than the last iPhone. It's like, yeah, no shit, because you had 17 versions of it. Of course you sold more, but really this is just a much more watered down, spread out type of product than you. It's like if you release the movie on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and it makes more than previous movies that were released on Friday, then yeah, of course it made more money because it was released on 2 additional fucking days.
Soon they're going to have opening week and then opening weekend.
Yeah, that's true. Because the people that are going to see it multiple times will just see it twice in the first quote-unquote opening weekend if it's a Wednesday and a Sunday or something.
That'll be you guys, not me.
That's true.
I mean, I don't already have my tickets for 2 days, so shh.
Last thing I'll say to kind of, again, piggyback on what Geiger said, I really do want to see, because we never really got it, I want to see Vader be a ruthless, sick person and just kill like 10 or 15 people on the battlefield that don't deserve it. That's what I really want to see, and what I need to see, I think. So I hope we get that. I know in the trailer there's that scene
I don't think we will.
There's that scene where the stormtroopers are like storming a beach, and I'm hoping that Vader just shows up, cuts a few people's heads off, and then like drives home. So,
I think we'll just call it a weekend break.
all right. Any last thoughts on Rogue One before we move on to our protein shake? Perfect.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, or yes to the...
Felicity Jones.
Okay. Yeah. And
Best Star Wars movie ever, quote me. I can't wait to talk to you bitches on Friday night. Oh, eat your words.
we now move on to the only thing that a bro can do after his chest day, which is the protein shake. Got to get those gains, got to get those heels up. So this was actually a pretty big week in terms of news, and like trying to figure out what we wanted to talk about here was a little bit difficult, but there were a lot of trailers that dropped, and the one that of course had us buzzing because it's the first look we've had at all of this movie is the Spider-Man Homecoming trailer. Comes out this year, directed by John Watt, and of course starring Tom Holland as Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and Robert Downey Jr. reprising his role. You may have seen him as Tony Stark / Iron Man. Now, this is a movie that Marvel has said they're going for a John Hughes type vibe. They're putting Spider-Man back in high school. Guys, I don't know about you, and Banner, we'll go to you first, but this is a tough movie to do because it has been beat to death. everyone gets it. They know how Spider-Man becomes Spider-Man, but we never got to see much of him in high school. So this looks like they're starting with him. I'm guessing he's an underclassman, and it's about like his coming of age and him dealing with being in the Marvel Universe. They've made several references to that. So I did kind of get, not necessarily a John Hughes vibe, but sort of like a teen angst vibe from this. I thought it was put together really well. It felt a little bit different from all the other Marvel movies, which I think Marvel is constantly trying to do with each of their next films. Brian, what was your thought on this? And of course, what is your excitement level for the movie this summer?
I mean, it's no Amazing Spider-Man 2, but...
Thanks for coming on, Brian. We appreciate the time.
No, in all seriousness... Seriousness? Seriousness. It looks very, very good. Yeah. It looks very good. I think Peter Parker is supposed to be like a sophomore in high school right now, which I really like that they brought it home. We've never really seen anybody tackle Peter Parker and Spider-Man in the high school age. I think in the original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, I think he was a senior, and they showed him graduating like halfway through the first movie. Same thing with Amazing Spider-Man, those two movies. It was more in his young adult life. We've never seen him in high school and dealing with growing up and learning how to be, or learning who you are, let alone learning how to save the world. I think it's going to be. It looks like they're taking a little bit of a different approach to everything, which I like, and it's not going to be. It's going to be good because we've got Iron Man in it as well, which. How much fucking money is Downey Jr. making now?
I know.
Jesus fucking Christ.
He is like...
I have the answer. It's all of the money.
All the money.
Yes.
All the money.
Enough to pay for the drugs he's doing. That's all you need to know.
Was that a scoop? Is he relapsed? Is that what you're dropping on the Broforce?
God,
Club?
I hope so. That'd be awesome. I'd do some blow with him.
Geiger, we'll go to you because your boy Michael Keaton is in this movie. The original Batman, of course. He's a legend to all comic book fans. We did not get to see much of him as the Vulture, but John Watt described his character as, well, Spider-Man is a regular dude who falls upon powers and gets to be a superhero. So the Vulture is a regular dude who, he can't tell us why, but he finds something that lets him be a supervillain. How pumped are you that he's in this movie? And then what were your thoughts on the trailer?
Who gives a shit? Vulture looks awesome.
I hate to lose Keaton to the dark side, to the Marvel side, but he's going to be fantastic as this. I'm so glad they're doing Vulture because we haven't seen him yet on the screen.
Would you rather have Kingpin or
Vulture?
Vulture?
Some goblin, Green Goblin, Hobgoblin, Willy Goblin, what the fuck ever. I'm like,
Craig
we get it.
Goblin.
I'm really fucking sick of it. So I'm glad they're doing him. I'm glad that they're taking place in, what was it, Midtown High?
Yeah.
Where I went to high school at, because that is every fucking great comic book arc that's ever done. In Spider-Man, 80% of them takes place when he's in Midtown. So that's fantastic because the trailer felt really Spider-Man-y to me. Holland got in fantastic shape. If you guys remember, and if you don't, watch the original Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire got in awesome shape, but he also looked like he was 42 through the whole fucking movie. This kid actually looks like he's a sophomore in high school. I buy it. I loved him in Civil War. I like that Downey Jr.'s in it. And I don't want to say too much about it because you guys will call me a hypocrite and a douchebag, which you already do off air, and it's really embarrassing. But I know I've said that Marvel needs to connect these things, but whenever I see this trailer, I'm like, okay, is this an Iron Man movie or a Spider-Man movie? In the midst of it, man, and if you guys are just new to this, welcome. But in the comic book world, Iron Man isn't dick, Spider-Man's king. So I don't want to fucking see Iron Man. I want to see Spider-Man through the whole movie.
I don't think we're going to have as much Iron Man as the trailer.
I think that's mostly all.
I don't think so. I don't think you can.
All that stuff, but that's not his comic book arc. So I get that that's how they set him up in Civil War, and I like it. But don't give me too much Downey Jr. I want a Spider-Man film. I'm really excited for this. The trailer looked fantastic, and yeah, it already got my money for sure.
All right, Alex, will they have enough money to ship the prints of this to theaters after they've paid Robert Downey Jr.? That's the main question that I have to ask you.
We'll have to see about that. I have one thing to say. I thought the trailer looked cool. I'm excited to see Marvel's take on this amazing character because, as far as I'm concerned, the only good Spider-Man film we've seen was the first one.
Yeah, I would actually agree with that.
The one with Doc Ock was pretty good too.
The first one, I think, is the top 5 comic book film of all time. The first one's fantastic.
I don't think there's any argument that the first one isn't up there as one of the best movies ever. But I think
movies
Amazing
ever?
Spider-Man
Or
2
comic book movie?
no comic book movies.
Okay.
Sorry,
Sorry,
I just
Alex,
have one
continue.
question. There's a lot of and as a person that is a lot less into the know of all of the inner workings of the comics, there's a lot of narrowing of his eyes in that costume. I need an explanation for that in the movie, or else it's really going to bug me throughout the whole movie. So that's all I'm going to say.
Alex, you either buy it or don't.
But it's cloth over his face. I'm going to need an explanation. Go on.
Yeah, in the comics, it's like some like device that Tony Stark had built into his suit, but it does look weird the way that it's animated in this.
Perfect. No, if like that's why Tony Stark is in it, and he mentions that,
yeah,
I'm so in.
I don't know if they'll mention it.
Did you guys see the rumors or the concept art that they're bringing the Iron Spider suit into it?
I don't think they will.
I'll be so fucking pissed if they do.
Banner hates the Iron Spider suit.
Yeah.
He'd rather get herpes.
What did the Iron Spider suit do to you, bro?
That sounds like sequel material to me.
Agreed.
That should not. I agree with Banner. I don't know your hatred for it that much. I don't agree that it should be in the first movie.
Well, he only gets it in Civil War, and it's just
right, and it's fucking stupid in that too, which is why he gets the shit kicked out of him when he's wearing it.
The thing that I'm excited about that John Watts said is going to be a big focus of this movie is, and it's kind of weird that you don't even think about this, but Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is the only character aside from Daredevil so far that has a secret identity. So like people don't know that he's Spider-Man. And John Watts said the cool part of this film is, what if you were getting picked on in high school, you weren't popular, people didn't like you, but you actually were the coolest person at your whole school, but you couldn't tell anybody that. That's a big part of this movie, and I think if they focus on that and the character stuff, which, let's be honest, has never really gotten its due in any of these movies, probably because they needed to tell people, like, this is a Spider-Man movie, he's going to fucking be Spider-Man, and if anyone has earned the right to maybe be a little more patient with this movie, it's Marvel, because people already know that their shit works, their formula works. I think this will be maybe, aside from the first Iron Man, the most character-driven Marvel film, and that's what I'm really hoping for. And that's what has me excited, aside from everything, is that we're going to finally get the Spider-Man that deals with like the shit growing up that we could all relate to.
Can I go a little Geiger on this here?
Make the fucking villain good for once in your goddamn life. You got Michael Keaton, the Batman, the first Bat. Just make him good, please. Have him do something.
I'm going to bring us into our next protein shake topic here by saying our last thing on Spider-Man. Flash Thompson's a redhead. That's not believable.
All right. That's disgusting.
That's because Manganiello is too busy doing a real movie, I guess. I don't know.
That's true.
So
I'm fucking excited about that.
Our last protein shake, and then we're going to go into the rapid fire round of the Do You Even Lift Bros. But there was some DC news that came out this week, and I'm interested to hear what our DC man Geiger thinks. So 2 stories, guys, and I'll give you the choice of which you want to talk about. But the first is DC has announced that they are doing a Deadshot spin-off movie, of course starring Will Smith. And in it, I can only imagine there will be a line where he says, "What are we, some kind of Deadshot spin-off movie?" And then the other story, it was announced, actually today confirmed, that David Ayer, writer and director of Suicide Squad, is going to be refilling those shoes again for the Harley Quinn spin-off, which is now titled Sirens of Gotham City, and will feature Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, and Catwoman, with Margot Robbie reprising her role. So, Geiger, we'll go to you first. Which of these 2 do you want to weigh in on, and are you excited, or do we need to put you back on Suicide Watch?
Some people call this news. I just call it Warner Brothers, like monkeys throwing shit at each other, because this is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard.
Which one is?
Which one?
Yeah.
The Deadshot movie is fucking stupid. For one, he's already in Suicide Squad. There's rumors, it's been confirmed, there's going to be a Suicide Squad 2. Just leave it alone. Cool. But now we're going to do a Deadshot movie. Why? Well, we want to see what happens with Batman. We already fucking saw it in Suicide Squad. I just rewatched Suicide Squad tonight, painfully. It was worse than the first fucking time I saw it.
Congratulations.
Let me say real quick, Geiger, and then I'll get it back to you. Did anyone think when they saw Suicide Squad, hey, this is a movie that should produce 3 separate sequels / spin-offs?
This is fucking retarded. This isn't the goddamn Justice League. You have so much shit to work with in the DC thing. And the thing that's so scary and sad and pathetic is that Warner Brothers actually right now thinks that they're Marvel. They'll be like, oh my god, look at all this shit we're doing, and we're going to do a bunch of spin-offs and stuff. Deadshot is such a small scale in the whole DC. An Alfred spin-off movie, whenever he goes to college at fucking...
I'd watch the shit out of that.
Oh my god, it's going to be about Alfred's college years here soon, and what wine he fucking finally chose. Now, the Harley Quinn spin-off movie I had problems with, but I said if they do Birds of a Prey, I'll be down with it. They're not doing Birds of a Prey, but they're basically fucking doing Birds of a Prey with Poison Ivy and Catwoman. Cast Catwoman right, please. Don't have her be a boss of Robert Downey Jr. in some fucking douchebag film that only 40-year-olds that drink mocha lattes like. Do a right Catwoman.
I don't understand the reference.
The Intern, wherever the fuck that movie Robert Downey Jr. was in with Anne Hathaway. Google it. It actually exists, sadly.
Robert Downey Jr. is in a movie with Anne Hathaway?
Are you talking about Robert De Niro?
Robert De Niro?
Robert De Niro, sorry.
Oh, I'm
yes,
so confused.
Right.
I did get the title right. I've been drinking.
First and last time someone got De Niro and Downey Jr. mixed.
They're both Robert names, and I've been drinking, and I'm really pissed off. Poison Ivy has the opportunity now. All these girls that kind of dig Blink-182 and like edgy shit love Harley Quinn. Poison Ivy has the opportunity for all the edgy chicks to fucking dig her. She is the next Harley Quinn-ish, if you will, if you're not into comic books. Poison Ivy is the #1 female fucking person in the whole DC universe, ahead of Wonder Woman and all that shit. But my last thing I'm going to say about this Birds of a Prey movie, or whatever they fucking titled it, basically Birds of a Prey, is make it dark. Don't make it fucking Spice Girls or something like that. Women are smart now. They like different shit. Make it fucking dark. That's why a lot of people like Harley, because she was a fucking dark version of a woman kind of superhero. Make it really fucking dark and kill people. Have women kill people. It'll be fucking fantastic. And don't have Batman in it. Have Nightwing. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. Alex, we go to you. Does any of this resonate with you at all? And what will Will Smith's line be in the Deadshot spinoff movie, where he references the title of the film?
I'm just going to pretend that's going to be a sequel to Pursuit of Happiness. Moving on, I have two things to say. One, the first thing, I know she's probably like 50 now, but let's just bring Uma Thurman back. Let's just have her be Poison Ivy.
Well, you know my fan cast.
You stole my fucking line.
My fan cast is the second love of my life, Rosamund Pike as Poison Ivy.
My favorite movie of all time, Pulp Fiction, Uma Thurman. I have a poster of her in my living room. Let's just bring her back. I'm sure she's going to do great.
Let's let her actually act this time.
Second thing I want to say, Geiger, you know why Warner Brothers thinks they're Marvel? Is because their production budget for Suicide Squad was $175 million, and they grossed $745.6 million worldwide.
Not a bad life.
They might as well fucking be, because that movie was not good. If they're making 6 times the amount they actually used to make the movie, yeah, they probably think they can fucking make a fucking sequel about anybody.
I understand that, but the clock is going to strike midnight here soon. You can't just keep making shit movies just because they have Batman in them or something, or they're connected to something. After a while, and this is what's going to piss me off, and I'm not a Marvel fan, but I do enjoy Marvel movies, it's going to carry over to other comic book movies that are actually fucking doing well. That people are going to be like, you know what, these comic book movies suck, so I'm not going to go see Avengers 4 or something like that. That's the only thing. You have to make fucking good movies that make sense, aren't choppy messes where you cut out the biggest actor that people are going to see. Well, but I do agree with you. They did make a ton of money off of it.
To that point, there is a huge, huge demographic that is just a casual fan that if the movies aren't entertaining anymore, they just won't go. So, Banner, what are your thoughts on either of these stories? What hits home with you?
Emma Stone as Poison Ivy.
No.
All right, well, that's all I had.
That's all you had?
That's pretty much all I had.
Okay, I like Emma Stone.
If you have seen Mad Men, the chick that played Joan should be Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
Is that Christina Hendricks?
That's who should be Poison Ivy.
But I wouldn't be able to watch her performance. I feel like something else would catch my eyes the whole time. All right. We now move on to our segment where we get to interact with our fans out there. And we ask the question to ourselves through your voice, do you even lift brah?
Brah?
Do you even lift brah? So this is where we take your guys' That was not a drop. That was an actual noise that Alex English just made on pod.
I think it's a drop now.
So our first question comes from Wikipedia, which is a nice little play on Mickey Mouse, I'm guessing. And he/she asks, and I did edit the second part of this to make sure we talked about it, but Transformers: The Last Night trailer thoughts and Dunkirk trailer thoughts. Oh, shit. We're going to go to Alex English on the left elbow. Alex, chime in on either of these or both of these.
All right, I just pump-faked my defender out of his shoes,
Yeah, you did.
so I have a wide-open J. So I'm going to touch on the Dunkirk trailer first, all right? So we have the next Christopher Nolan masterpiece. He's tired of the Academy, who averages 75 years old, rejecting him for the best director.
Sorry, Brian, make
Oscar.
more noise with your microphone, please.
Yes, please.
Can you just sit still for a while?
He's tired of the Academy rejecting him for the Best Director Oscar, so he's like, all right, you don't like my sci-fi films? I'm just going to give you my war epic. I watched this today. It dropped today, and I am so excited to watch this in IMAX. I love World War II epics. It's going to be fucking phenomenal. The cast is incredible. It's going to just be the most, well-produced, directed war movie you've ever seen since Saving Private Ryan, and I cannot wait. It looks fantastic. I love Nolan. I love everything he puts out. I am so excited to see it. I have nothing else to say on that.
Any Nolan...
On Transformers...
Sorry.
What was that?
Any Nolan, anything they put out, yes.
Yeah, just how much money do you want? I mean, if you set the ticket price at $45, am I going to go see it on IMAX? Yes, I will.
Yes.
My comment on the Transformers trailer is the following. It's one comment. It's the scene where Mark Wahlberg goes, okay? That's it. That's all I have.
You're going to have to be more specific. Is this even from this movie, or is it from The Fighter? Because that's like
From
half
all of
his
them.
lines.
He goes, hey, okay?
I'll see Optimus Prime, okay? All right, Banner, do you have anything on either of these?
Yeah, I mean, Dunkirk, I'm sure it's going to be great. It doesn't speak to me, but, I mean, it's got a good cast, and, yeah, sure. All right. Transformers, look, it's Michael Bay. He does, every 8 movies are good. This is movie number 7, so I'll see you guys next time. Geiger, it's up to you.
First off, Banner, I just want to say that it being Christmas, you with your shirt off, you look like a tattooed Jesus right now with your beard and your long hair, just like having your arm up there. Anyway, Transformers, I saw, I think, 75% of the first one. Haven't seen any of them since, so I haven't seen the trailer. I'm sure
You still got that shitty Megan Fox taste in your mouth.
Yeah, if you guys think it's good, I'll pat you on the head and be like, good luck with your journey. Go see it. Anyway, the Dunkirk, I'm just going to say this, man. I'm not big into World War II films. Just never have been. I kind of like the Nazi thing. That is kind of interesting. I'd rather have like Civil War or Revolutionary War films. Those are just more films that I like. The Patriot, any type of Western or something like that. Hatfields, McCoys. That's just stuff that I like. However, it looks very fucking well done. Even though I'm not into it, I will probably see it. I don't know about on opening night unless we'll do something on it. But of course, you got my boy Tom Hardy. I love Nolan, of course. It's got Scarecrow in it.
Cillian Murphy's going to be in every Nolan movie till the end of time, I think.
Nolan is like, I don't want to say this because these guys suck, but Adam Sandler or Seth Rogen, he has his group, but his group is talented.
Yeah.
Are you following me?
That's a good analogy.
His group's actually talented that he fucking has around there.
With the exception of...
Yeah, like Nolan's like...
I forgot. Member of One Direction in the movie.
Harry Styles, yeah.
He's in this. Did you guys know that?
Yeah,
I heard that.
And I guarantee you, Nolan will probably somehow get a good performance out of him.
Everyone didn't think Timberlake could act, and then we saw Alpha Dog, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
He was alright in Social Network, too.
He was.
Oh, absolutely. He's good in about it. I love Timberlake, man.
Friends with Benefits is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah. Social Network, but Alpha Dog, he's really good in that one.
Is Friends with Benefits the one with Ashton Kutcher?
No,
No.
that's a
That's
different
No
one, but
Strings
it's
Attached.
It's the same story.
Exact
Yeah, I
same
know.
plot.
I was making a joke that literally everybody just got just now. So
All right, well, it was a shitty joke. It's the one with Mila Kunis.
Yeah, there's things you can joke about, and then there's friends with benefits, Alex. Okay. Here's my thoughts. Absolutely loved the Dunkirk trailer, of course. I think this is like the movie that I was really interested to see because Nolan. It's not a genre film in any way. It's him doing a war epic, and finally, I think the Academy, because it like for whatever reason, I'm sure there's legitimate reasons. Maybe I don't know. They're the Oscar Academy, but they don't look at genre films really, with a few exceptions, like the last Lord of the Rings film, but. This is. I think he realized, like, hey, in my career, like, you need at least a nomination for something. So it's time for me to actually show these guys what I'm capable of, and this is it. Transformers: The Last Night actually wrote a squad blog post on this earlier in the week. This is the case in point to the double-edged sword that is movie trailers now. You could put a Tampax commercial together, cut up by one of these trailer commercials, and I would be sitting here like, I don't know, guys. I think I just, for some reason, need to go buy tampons. Because they can make these things look so fucking good. I know this movie is going to suck. I know it is going to be awful. I know Mark Wahlberg is going to mail it in worse than he did in The Happening. But the trailer, narrated by Robert Ford, Anthony Hopkins, had me fucking hooked. I'm ready to go see it and be disappointed yet again. Like every girlfriend I've ever had. So that's all. Okay. Next Twitter question, and this is one that I think should be pretty interesting. Not everyone has to chime in because this is a little tough one to think about, but Awful Tweeter tweets at us, who is the most overrated director of all time in your opinion? I'll go first here. Now, after I say this, I'm going to read off every movie that this director has directed, not just been a part of, because that would actually make the list worse, but has directed since 2001, okay? So the most overrated director of all time, I think, is Tim Burton. Now, Geiger, before you get upset, because I know he did Batman and Batman Returns, let me tell you what this guy has done for us in the past.
That was pre-2000.
Sleepy Hollow too. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Look what he's done.
Beetlejuice?
Geiger, listen to what he has done in the last 16 years. There are kids
those
born.
were pre-2000.
There are kids born now driving automobiles that these are all the movies they've been able to see, okay? Here we go. Big Fish.
Well, then they suck.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Corpse Bride, Sweeney Todd, Alice in Wonderland, Dark Shadows, and now it gets good, Frankenweenie, Big Eyes, and of course this year, don't worry, he'll right the ship with Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. How do you defend that?
Corpse Bride, Sweeney Todd were good.
Corpse Bride was
9
good?
also?
Didn't he do what?
Corpse Bride is good, yeah.
Didn't he do 9?
No.
Who did 9?
I think you're thinking of 7 with Brad Pitt.
No.
There's a movie called 9 with Melissa Joan Hart. Which, first off, even if he did it, that doesn't
It's an
help.
animated movie.
Geiger, I didn't know you liked animated films in Corpse Bride.
I think he was a producer with 9.
I mean, it's a good flick.
I'm looking it
It's a
up.
seasonal flick. If it's around Halloween, I'll definitely pop in Corpse Bride.
Are you getting Corpse Bride and A Night Before Christmas confused?
I don't think so. I know
Night Before
he
Christmas
did
is
both.
a classic.
Nightmare Before
did
Christmas,
both.
yeah. I know he did
Nightmare
both.
Before Christmas. He did both. No, Corpse Bride I'll watch before Halloween.
Okay.
Nightmare Before Christmas I will too, but I mean, it's just kind of like, 8 Crazy Nights. I love that movie during Christmas time, but any other time it's probably not that good a movie.
All right, well, hey, he was like 1 for 9 since 2001, so that's good at least. Anyone else have an entry into most overrated director? Alex English, I see you're wide open.
All right, so I want you guys to really think about this before you jump on me and cut into what I'm about to say. All right?
We won't, but thank you.
Most overrated director, in my opinion, multiple Oscar winner, Oliver Stone.
Wow. What? You're like naming my favorite director.
No, seriously. What is like when you sit back and you're like, oh, Oliver Stone masterpiece? What is it? Which one is it?
I don't know about masterpiece, but I really liked W.
I'm not even gonna take that seriously. Go on.
You didn't like W?
Natural Born Killers. He did. That was
They're
fantastic.
That was
okay. Are
Tarantino.
any of those movies like 10s? If you're gonna be a 3-time Oscar winner, you need a 10. Does he have any 10s?
I have to look
I
at
think
his
he's
I
filmography.
think JFK is a 10. JFK was fucking fantastic.
Hey, this is why we bring in the hot takes.
What's
you
his most recent film?
most recent film? Let's see. Most
That
recent directed film is the Snowden film, which is actually I don't even know if it's been released yet. It's 2016 release.
With
Yeah, it was
Gordon
released in
Levitt?
September with Levitt. Yeah, I did not see it, so I don't
I've
even know.
heard
It's
decent
probably
things. I've heard
vanilla.
decent.
I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
No,
And
that's-
clearly it's just me on this podcast. But all of his movies I find okay. I just haven't seen the one that's like, okay, that's a 10. And to me, if you're gonna be a top director, you need to have the 10. You know, like Spielberg hasn't done anything good in the last 15 years,
Right.
but he fucking also did E.T. and Jaws. You know,
He's
Catch
good.
Me If
And
You Can,
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones, like whatever. So, but like Oliver Stone, all of his movies are good. I'm not saying they're not good. I just think he's overrated.
It's a
So-
difference
Yeah,
between
do you
like
want me to go next, or do you want Banner to keep fucking anally raping Michael Bay?
if anyone
you actually have to
overrates
be
Michael
rated
Bay.
in order to be overrated.
Yeah,
so
that's a good-
Michael
that's-
Bay doesn't even make the list.
Geiger,
First off, I want to say Tim Burton produced 9, so that doesn't count for this particular topic.
yeah, I was only doing
I stand
directing.
corrected. Yes. Now, for most overrated director, I'm gonna go M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh yeah.
I was
Okay.
about to do that too, but I picked
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, he's
he
washed
did
up.
Sixth Sense. He did Unbreakable and Signs. Since then, he hasn't done jack fucking shit. But yet everybody sucks his cock.
I don't care what you've done before. If you did Lady in the Water and The Happening, then you're dead forever to me.
Look, The Happening is one of the worst movies on the face of the planet,
Okay.
and that is going up against Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. And honestly, Rise of the Silver Surfer might win.
I'll say this.
I don't.
You reference Rise of the Silver Surfer once an episode, and I hope that never changes.
Well,
Can I also say one thing about M. Night Shyamalan?
Yeah.
Okay, so he directed the movie. It was called, I believe, After Earth, which had Will Smith
And Jaden
his son
Smith?
in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
The reason why Will Smith was not Django in Django Unchained is because he was like, sorry, Tarantino, already committed to M. Night's movie.
Although I heard that movie, I didn't see it, but I heard it also was like Scientology commentary, which Will Smith is a Scientologist, so that's part of why he did it.
I guess, but bro, you could have been Django. And Jamie Foxx did a great job. That movie's
Oh, yeah.
fantastic. That movie's fantastic, but like
Okay.
Will Smith hasn't had a hit in like 15 years.
Will Smith also just recently turned something down to do Suicide Squad. What was that?
Independence Day
Independence
Regurgence.
Day.
Independence Day. That's right. Yeah, which that obviously wasn't as good without him.
I want to say my guy real quick. This guy has only done one movie that I liked, but I really liked it. But he gets credit for so much shit, and everyone has to understand I'm a really weird nerd. I love Star Wars and DC and Marvel, but I hate Lord of the Rings and fucking Harry Potter and all that shit. So without further ado, James Cameron, you suck.
Wow.
Wow.
Avatar wasn't that good.
Whoa.
Let me
It
say
wasn't
this.
that good.
I think his best movie is the first
Good.
Terminator.
Terminator, not that good. Arnold can't act.
You didn't like
What else?
Terminator?
The only one that he did that I like is Titanic. I love
Oh my
Titanic. That's a
God,
good movie.
bro.
It was with
Although
Arnold
I'll say this,
Schwarzenegger.
he
did a
might
couple
not be the-
Rambo movies.
He might not be the best director in his marriage.
None of these movies would
Sure.
hold up if they were in theaters today.
Hold
Geiger.
on. Time out.
Titanic.
Geiger.
Move it away from your
I'm gonna
mouth.
need
a
you
little
to, after the podcast tonight, I want you to literally get a 6-pack of Red Bulls and watch Terminator 2 Judgment Day
I've watched all the
immediately.
I've watched
Terminator 2 is like the best action movie ever made.
I watched all the Terminators. It's
bit.
back
And I-
then there was a different action star. You don't have to act. All you have to do is have a decent body. Now you have great actors and you make them get in shape. These movies are way better than the ones in the 90s.
I'll be back.
Banner, you tried to call a timeout before that happened, which is your
Yeah,
last full, by the way.
I don't understand what that means. This isn't a game. Go ahead.
Look, I just want to say, now this is for him as a writer, but I just pulled up his IMDb, and his next 4 things are
this?
Avatar 2, Avatar 3, Avatar 4, and Avatar 5.
No, that's not real life.
And that's just because he can't make a fucking Titanic 2 because the fucking ship sunk.
Now, I will say,
about how the
going
ship
against
built.
Avatar, I will say the first Avatar, when it came out, I fucking loved it. That's because it was the first movie in real 3D. Going back and watching it now, I mean, if it's on TV, I might watch it till the next commercial.
Have you ever seen Pocahontas made by Disney animated cartoon? That's Avatar. It's the same film.
Yeah, it's the same thing. But because it was in real 3D, everybody puts it on this pedestal.
Right. My parents saw that in the theaters in IMAX 3D, and they were like, "Oh my God, that was so amazing!" It's like, yes, because they actually took 7 years to make this properly.
Yeah.
Most 3D movies that come out now, they in post-production, and it takes like 6 months. Like, this guy actually took his time, did it right, and it looks amazing.
So,
you're in this world. But the movie itself was not great. It was...
Yeah, visually it was great. Story-wise, acting-wise, it's middle of the pack.
All right, moving on to our third Do You Even Lift Bro? Beer Tastes Good 23 asks, and English, this is a question that I'm really excited to hear your answer on. Describe your worst theater experience. So I'll let you go, and then I have one that is not going to top your story, but I'll go second.
I have two quick ones. And this is also part of the reason why I go to the theater a lot less these days than I used to back in the day. My first one is in 2013, Man of Steel comes out. I'm really pumped. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to redo Superman. It's going to be in IMAX 3D. It's going to be fantastic. I'm buying tickets ahead of time. I can't wait. I show up at the AMC theater with my pre-purchased tickets, and they have me wait in a line. So that was kind of interesting to me. I said, well, hold on a tick. Why did I buy this ahead of time and now I have to wait in a line? That's kind of fucked up. Oh, and you're going to let us all run in 15 minutes before to get the best seats? That's kind of stupid. So I went on a crazy Twitter rant at AMC, and within a month, that same theater had assigned seating. So I'm going to go ahead and take credit for the fact that they did that. That's a true story. I can go back in my Twitter history, that is a true story. That was in Dallas, Texas. That happened, right? So that was my first experience. Overall, the movie itself was decent. Inside the movie theater, once we watched it, it was good. It's fine. It's fine. It was a good
banner. This isn't a Man of Steel talk.
Yeah, we don't need to get into it. I thought it was fine. It was a nice 24 point.
It's a fine movie.
Yeah, and you're part of the problem.
24.10 rebound, 5 assists, 2 turnover performance by Man of Steel.
That's a hell of a performance.
Yeah, but see, they're teammates with Russell Westbrook, who just dropped 12 and 12. So, all right, now my second one is the reason why, I almost swore off theaters for a year. I was really pumped for this. Of course, the movie I'm speaking of is American Sniper with Bradley Cooper, directed by Clint Eastwood. All right, fantastic film, true story. I went and saw this in theaters. It had been out for about a week. I'm in a really nice part of town. All right, affluent city, really nice part of town.
Wait, that's the name of the city?
What was that?
It's actually called Affluent City?
Affluent City. No, it was actually Dallas, Texas, in a really nice part of town. Really nice theater, like a bougie-ass theater where, the tickets are just by default $5 more. It's like, why are they $5 more? They just are. Don't worry about it.
You're rich. Shut up.
We sell liquor here, so just go with it. So I'm with my date. We go into the movie theater. We're enjoying the movie. It's literally one of the most. That is a very intense picture. If you haven't seen it, it's just there's a lot of quiet scenes where there's no music. You're just getting the sound that's caused by the overall environment of the scene they're shooting, right? And all of a sudden, the row behind us, we were sitting kind of central, about 2 rows down. from the top because trying to get the best view. The row behind us, this guy gets up and he's just like yelling, just in the middle of the movie.
What?
It's just like super quiet. He's all of a sudden just yelling for no purpose, and we're just turning around like, what the fuck is going on? This guy is yelling. All of a sudden, the guy next to him gets up and starts yelling. These dudes proceed to start yelling at each other for fucking 15 minutes.
Why?
And then I have no fucking clue. Somebody finally shows up and shows them both out. They almost like threw down in the middle of the movie theater.
At that point, yeah, I'd be like,
probably was a chick.
Stop yelling. I'd be like, stop yelling and either fight or just leave.
It was so bad that it completely threw me out of the whole experience. I finished the movie. I was like, it's like a 7. I rewatched the movie later, and I was like, that was a fucking 9. But it just ruined it for me so much, and I was so pissed off. And like I get like that almost like PTSD feeling when I go to the movie theater now. I just expect people to start yelling at each other every time a movie starts. So that's me. That probably went longer than I intended, but I wanted to share both of those for you guys.
Suicide Squad. That's mine.
Bailey, you have one?
That's mine.
I have an interesting one, and it's really, really short, but I just want to say it
Talking to me?
because the movie that I saw is kind of part of the funny aspect of it. So I was at, of course, Kung Fu Panda when it came out in theaters. And there was I was there with one of my friends. We haven't thought of a 90s basketball player name, so I won't name him on the pod yet. But we were there, Kung Fu Panda opening weekend, I'm guessing, and there was a kid sitting next to us with his mother, and he was probably too young to be at the theater. He was probably like 3 or 4. But every time the villain came on the screen, he was kind of scary in the movie. The kid would get very frightened and would make this noise. And get louder and louder each time. After like the 4th time the villain comes on the screen and the kid goes, my friend goes, if you can't handle it, then get him out. Just yells that out loud to the mother of this child. To which I asked him afterwards, I'm like, why did you fucking care, bro? It was Kung Fu Panda, like whatever. All right, so our final Do You Even Lift Bro comes from G.I. Mo, and he asks, Geiger, we didn't get your thoughts on the Westworld finale pod. What did you think of the last episode in the season, and do you have any theories?
Well, G.I.
Mo.
Thank you for asking this question. I'm sorry, did I get his name right? Because it wasn't me that asked me this question. It was definitely someone else.
Yeah, you got it right. You got it right. It was a different person than us.
So Westworld was a fantastic show. I know that these guys did a spectacular job all season keeping you guys up to date. I listened to them as I was going through it. Now, how good a show is it? Let's switch to another great show, Game of Thrones, which we will dive into in a couple months here. I hate to break this to you, but I'm going to tell you guys the ending. Khaleesi and Jon Snow's armies are going to combine. They're going to fucking kill everybody because they're related. But you might not know this part of the ending. So after they kill everybody, they're going to be up on a pedestal. They're going to kiss and look over. And once they kill everyone, everyone's going to rise up and look back at them. And then everything is going to freeze. And then Anthony Hopkins is going to walk in and say, this world is complete. And then whenever it fades away, it's going to say medieval times world.
This fucking guy.
Done.
This fucking guy.
Bernard, we've completed it.
And it's going to be fucking awesome. And you heard it here first on the Bro Force Squad from Matthew S. Geiger, that these two shows fucking connect. And the whole time you thought Game of Thrones was fucking awesome, but it was actually Anthony Hopkins just pulling strings, just making sure this world was ready for people to come in and rape and kill shit.
I mean, I don't even think you can disprove that, but do either of you guys want to try?
Is it over now?
Pretty much.
Did I break it?
Do either of you guys want to even try to say that that's not what's going to happen?
Can you do that in your Anthony Hopkins voice, Jeff? Say just, this world is complete.
Ah, Bernard, this world is complete.
Yeah, Bernard has to be there for sure. In like medieval times gear. He like had to get up in medieval times.
He's got fucking chainmail on.
He's got a goddamn wolf like stitched on his chest. He's definitely House Stark for sure. Bernard is.
Yeah, Bernard's House Stark. I think that's a good way for
I
us.
don't know. He's African American. He doesn't like the cold. He might be.
Wow.
He might be Stormborn. I'm not
The
sure.
fuck does that even mean? All right, at that point, this is just when I need to make an executive decision to stop.
You know he's not Ironborn because he doesn't like to swim.
Yeah.
All right, we are the Bro Force Squad. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate if you stuck with us through all this. Do not forget to subscribe to us on iTunes and YouTube. Bro Force Squad, 3 words. Like us on Facebook, Bro Force Squad, 3 words. Follow us on Twitter, Bro Force Squad, and check out our website and our squad blog, broforcesquad.com. I'm Jeff
Buy
Hornacek.
recipes on Pinterest.
Yeah, Pinterest, that's right. I'm Jeff Hornacek for Alex English, the Mad Scientist Brian Banner, and Matt Geiger. We are the Bro Force Squad. Thank you guys, and we'll catch you next time.